So today we're so excited to have Cascene Gibson, the production manager at NBC Sports Universal. He's been a key part of bringing amazing sport events to life. And it's kind of crazy because I've been literally watching these post and pre-game shows like for years. So
Yeah,
to meet Cascene and to be able to talk to him and to have him on the show,
right.
amazing.
It's amazing. Thank you so much,
Yes.
Cassie. Yeah. So, how's everything?
Busy, just getting ready to get busier. We're winding down baseball, and we're preparing for basketball and hockey to start. And we're 2 weeks into the NFL season right now, so getting busy.
Yeah,
Busy
yeah,
time.
I know. And I would love to, to chat with you today also because his passion, right, Alex, for production. And you're a master of sport and many other things, Casina.
Yeah, yeah. I just love what I do, so it doesn't feel like a job. The same way that most people go and
Right.
clock in and do their 8 hours and then clock out. That's not
This
what
is
I
a
do.
true passion for you. I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, can you tell a little bit about yourself?
Yes. So I'm originally from Portland, Oregon, and I attended the University of Oregon, got a journalism degree there, and I started out as a news reporter and a sports reporter for a couple of years, and then I learned that I really loved the decision making behind the scenes in production and in news specifically. So I moved to Seattle and became a producer and a writer up there, and worked in TV news for 7 years in Seattle, covering
Right.
everything that was going on in the world, all hours of the day and night. Still produced a sports show, but it was also doing daily news. And then I moved to the Bay Area back in 2014 for a job at Cron 4, Channel 4. And I was a producer there for about a year and a half, and then I became the executive producer there. Worked there almost 6 years, doing daily news,
Mm-hmm.
sports, and in 2019, NBC Sports came a calling and recruited me, and I felt that it was a good time to get out of news, and so I've been at NBC ever since then, and right now, I help manage our studio shows for our pre and post game shows for all of our teams. And then I'm in charge specifically of our Oakland A's coverage and our Sacramento Kings coverage.
I know. I know I have Alex, our 49ers. I know she's so excited to ask you a couple questions.
Yes. My first question is, like you said, you're about to go through this really crazy time. All the sports are about to be coming at the same time. So what's a typical day like for you? Say when you do have basketball going on, you got football, you got baseball, you got hockey.
Yeah, the first thing that we figure out is where are our shows going to be, because we have only two studios in our newsroom. So if we have four games, it can be challenging. So one thing that helps is that for home games for the Warriors and home games for the Sacramento Kings, we have studios on location. So that frees up some space in our newsroom. And so, it starts with story meetings, just like any other news operation. We meet in earlier in the day, and we figure out what we're going to talk about that day. And again, the challenges are, where are our control rooms and where are our studios? So we have one large studio that most people see that has a lot of monitors and a lot of space, two different areas for the talent to be. And then we have a smaller studio that is typically for our San Jose Sharks, Sacramento Kings, and Oakland A's. So if you're in the smaller studio as a producer, you have less tools and toys to play around with. And if you're in the large studio, then it's how are you going to bring this show to life with all the tools that we have and the bells and whistles and monitors and different graphics that we have. So So that's really it. And then when we get in, we're just, you know, we're watching games. This is all, you know, a newsroom full of sports fans. So, you know, we have a responsibility to our fans to deliver, you know, exclusive, extensive coverage of their team. But also, you know, we're just watching the game and hoping that our teams win as well. But we do have a post game show that we need to be ready for right afterwards. So it can be some long days sometimes.
Yeah, what a fun job also.
Yeah.
If you love sport, what a great job, right? Uh-huh.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I know Alex has another question.
Yeah, I'm
Go,
like,
go.
okay. Um, okay.
Fire away. Fire away.
What are some of like the biggest challenges that you face?
Biggest challenges. You know, just like anything else, if someone calls in sick, you know, we have to pick up the slack somewhere. So, you know, especially if it's a talent, they call in sick, then we got to scramble and try and get someone else to fill in. Some of our talent lives out of town, and we fly them in. So it can be challenging at times, but we have, you know, backup plans. And then it's really just developing our team, and really trying to get them to a level that we want to be at professionally. And so that takes reps, just like anything. You have to do it over and over and over again. So the way that we start our crews out, we start them on the lesser teams, the teams that don't do as well. So for say the Oakland A's, the San Jose Sharks to start. Sacramento Kings are better now than they were, but they used to be in that category. And so it's really just, you know, developing and giving feedback to everyone, because everyone's skill set is different. And so, you know, it's our job as managers to make sure that we're putting them on the path to success. And so with that feedback, meetings, watching shows, listening to them, helping them out however we can. And then if I got to step in and do a show myself, I can do that as well.
That's great.
That's great.
And you know, we were so grateful, actually blessed to meet you in person.
Yes.
We did a tour, and I can see people. You know, you're so welcome me as a person. You're warm. I'm sure people love to work with you. So how you're so positive and so light? Then you know, like you have such a big responsibility also.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you, first off. And second, you know, I think it just comes down to my value system. You know, I want my family to be proud of me. And so, you know, being a jerk is just not, you know, in my forte. I save that for when I have to. News is a stressful business. I'll really reflect on my time in news, where, you know, it's stressful. There's bad news going on. Sometimes, you know, you have to blow your entire show up. You got to make decisions at the last minute, and it can be high stress.
Right.
And I've seen people fold under pressure, and I never wanted to be that person. I always wanted to be someone that people can go to, and for leadership, for guidance, and you know, you just need to give people a reason to want to work hard for you, and you don't do that by being an asshole. Excuse me if my language is bad on here, but and so I've had enough bad bosses that I've always told myself when I was in that position, I'm not going to be that way. I'm not going to make people feel miserable about the work that they're doing. I'm not going to make people feel stressed, extra stressed on top of an already stressful job. I'm going to do what I can to help. And so with that, plus I'm also in the communication business. So if
You
I can't
just
communicate,
nailed it.
I'm in the wrong business.
Yeah. That's very important.
We were just talking, Alex and I, last night, say, you know, it's so important to know how to talk to others and to engage with others. See, we are in the communication department.
Yeah.
And he nailed it.
And some people don't.
I will actually be, I'll actually be at SF State on Thursday to speak to the classes out there, to encourage them about our internship program. And so, you know, my internship back when I was in college really was a game changer for me. And so I just try and, you know, give people an opportunity to have their lives changed as well. You know, I didn't know that this was the business for me until I got into that internship. And ever since then, I've just kind of been doing the same thing since I was in college. So it worked for me. I've been doing it 20 years professionally now, 25 years if you include school and internships. And there's a lot of young journalists out there and broadcasters that sometimes they just need an opportunity and they need someone who's been, in the trenches and has done the work to tell them that you can make a career out of this.
Yeah. Do you believe in, just throw out there, you are in the right place, right moment, with the right people? Do you think that can work for somebody who want to get in the business?
Yeah, I mean, I always tell people you get out of this what you put into it. So, if you go all in, you're going to separate yourself from all the people that aren't going all in. If you show that passion, it's just like any athlete. The best athletes out there are not the ones that, you don't just show up and become that good. You got to practice at it. And so you got to put in the work. And I put in the work. And, when I look back, sometimes I just like take a look at my LinkedIn page and I'm like, man, this is pretty decorated when you look at it. It's like, okay, I know what I've been doing for the past 20 years. So I just kind of let people know. If you want to know what I've been doing for the past 20 years, you can hear it from me, or you can go to my LinkedIn page and everything is on there. So, I'm really passionate about this. I don't expect everyone else to be as passionate, but if you are, it can take you long ways.
Love it.
Love it.
Right.
All right, I have one more question for you, and we always do this for every single person at Crave. So other than what you're doing in your career, because obviously you're so passionate about that, what's another passion of yours?
I'm a dad. My
I
daughter
love
is
it.
is the best thing in the world for me. So I do all of this to put a smile on her face and just do my best to be there for her and be the Superman for her. So she keeps me going, and she's the joy of my life.
How old she is?
She's 4.
How old? She's 4. Love it.
Yeah, yeah. She's four going on 44.
Actually, I have one more question,
Oh, okay.
Alex. Somebody was, so I know you're going to go to San Francisco State, talk about internship, right? So when you're looking for people for an internship, what is really like? What is going to help? What kind of message you can give to the audience that you're really looking for? The best candidate.
Yeah, that's a good question. Sometimes we get up to 200 candidates for 4 positions, sometimes 5 positions on our internship. So it's really hard to narrow them down. So there's certain parameters. What I look for in an intern is someone who's on on the track to being a broadcaster or a journalist. So, any live experience in television will help. If you have the basic tools that it needs, writing, editing, and if you're just kind of in the arena and you're just really trying to find some guidance, those are the things that I look for. So I don't need you to get straight A's. That doesn't impress me that much because it's the real world experience that really speaks out. And so when I talk to people, I can see if they have a passion for it or not, and I really look for those little intangibles that really separate you from everyone else. So sometimes if someone reaches out to me on LinkedIn and then they continue to reach out to me trying to get my attention, like those things I pay attention to more than just someone's resume. I can get a million resumes, they all look the same, but it's the extra things. So I can use an example of someone who's a student at SF State right now. His name is Rashad Flowers. Last year I spoke to the SF State class. I think it was right around this time, and he had came last summer to tour our studio, similar to your classes this past summer, and he reached out to me on LinkedIn, and I told him, I was going to be at SF State to speak with the class, and it was a class that he wasn't in, but he showed up and watched my speech, and then afterwards we went and had lunch in the student center there, and that got him the internship. I was like, that's what I'm looking for, is that extra step, and I'm proud to say that I just hired him last month, and he is now an employee of NBC Sports Bay Area. So
Congratulations.
Amazing.
yeah. So and I also hired another SF State student about last week, Max Schmeling, and he did the same thing. So it's just that extra step of showing that you really want this, and then not missing out on those opportunities when you're given them.
That's beautiful. So don't be scared to reach out to people on LinkedIn. And
Go for
go
it.
for it and be
Go
consistent
for it.
and just make this happen.
Yeah.
My grandma always told me a closed mouth doesn't get fed. So, if you don't speak up, then you're missing out.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so
Cascene,
much, Casene.
Cascine, thank you so much. And
Absolutely.
we're looking forward to having you again in the future and maybe,
Yes.
see you soon, I'm sure.
All right. Thanks for
Grazie.
having me.